Hi everyone, I'm Mary. Welcome to today's short class dedicated to our hips. So we're going to start in Baddha Konasana, or also known as our bound angle pose. So bring the soles of the feet together. The hands are underneath the feet to support. We want to try and sit as tall as we can. So lift yourself up from your seat. Allow the knees to press out and down towards the floor. You should be feeling a stretch come in towards the inner thighs, the adductors. Take a big breath in. A slow, steady breath out. And continue to breathe like this, easing your body into the stretch. From here, squeeze the knees towards the arms and hold here. So really squeeze them in. Breathe in, keep holding. As you breathe out, allow the legs to release. We're going to do one more like that. Inhale, squeeze. Keep breathing. Keep squeezing them in. Almost looks like it's an effortless place to be. And then breathe out, release. Now take an inhale. Allow the elbows to bend and bring the chest a little bit closer towards those feet. You might like to keep the hands on the feet or extend them forwards. The knees constantly pushing out to the side and down. One more breath here. And then very gently bring yourself out. Hands outer leg. Allow the knees to come together. And then bring the hands down. And all we're going to do is just bring the feet a little bit further apart and allow the knees to sway from one side and then over to the other. Continue to breathe deeply. And then we're going to take this movement into a 90-90 stretch. So I'll take it with the left leg first, right leg is behind. Do adjust the legs a little. So what we're aiming to do here is to have a 90-degree angle with the knee on both the legs. Then sit yourself up. I like to flex both my feet as well. And then you can hold here. Or if you want a little bit more, bring the chest forward. But watch that you don't tip in towards the left side of your hips. So try and keep the body as upright as you can. And then you can search forward with the chest. If it's too much on that back knee or you need some support underneath, you can maybe tuck the leg in a little bit closer, or you can place a blanket underneath the knees for a little bit more support. One more breath here. Press that leg into the floor, a little bit more bite into the muscles. And then release. Come back. Same movement. So again, do some dynamic movement first. We'll take one more. And then this time, right leg is the front leg. Shuffle to get the legs into position. Be mindful that you're not shifting the weight in towards that right side. Breathe in. You can stay here nice and lifted, or you can start to fold over that leg. Maybe you can bring your body all the way down, but try and keep that nice length through the spine. So we're avoiding sort of crunching through the core. We want to keep the chest lifted. Try not to slump too much over that leg. Wonderful. One more breath here. And gently release. Come out of it. We're heading to tabletop position. So scoot the legs back. Come to hands and knees. And then from here, we'll just take a few rounds of cow-cats just to release the lower back. So breathe in. Finding that space in the front of your body. Tailbone lifts, belly down, chest forward. Breathe out. Chin, chest, belly, spine, tailbone points down. Repeating these movements then, maybe holding the stretch, maybe moving a little bit more dynamically. Anything that feels good for the body. Maybe you give it a little shake through the hips as well. And then from here, bring the right leg forward. Allow yourself to come up. Do a bit of a shift forwards and backwards, only if that feels okay in the leg. We're encouraging an opening in the left front hip flexor here. So be mindful of the left knee. If there's any discomfort, you can either place something underneath the knee. You can even lift the leg up and come to more of this position instead, if that's better. Once you've done a little bit of movement there, find your stretch. So bring it to stillness. Maybe hands come to your hips to ensure that they're staying parallel. Maybe you come overhead if you want a little bit more load there. Engage through that left glute. Press down through that right leg. Good. One more breath in. Slow, steady breath out. From here, hands come down. We are now going to extend the leg just for a moment to find a runner's lunge. Chest searches forward. There is connecting with the thigh, but not relying on the thigh for too much support there. Hands can of course come to blocks instead. From here, we're going to shuffle the leg across so the right foot comes towards the left side of your mat and allow the right knee to come down as we find our pigeon pose. Start by having the right foot towards the left hip so that the angle with the knee is very, very shallow. Then peek and check that your back leg is behaving. It wants to be in one straight line, not turning through the ankle. From here, you can then start to bring the right foot away from the left hip. Ensure that the right knee stays out more than being in line with the right hip. So it's out towards the right side of my mat. And then when you find a comfortable pigeon pose, and I don't know if comfortable is the right word for it, not always the most comfortable place to be, you can stay lifted, or maybe you can bring yourself over that right leg to find a bit more of a deeper stretch. Now you'll notice I've stuck a block underneath my right hip, my right bottom, and what this does is stabilise the pelvis. So when I do come down, I'm ensuring that my hips and everything stay nice and parallel. Now I like to use a block for pigeon pose because I feel it just really, it ensures my technique is there, where if someone wasn't behind me or I didn't have anyone checking, it's a little bit hard to know if the hips are really level. So if you're not too sure, maybe try the block and see how it feels. It can give you a really nice, strong, stable structure for your stretch. Arms can come forward, you can rest your forehead down. And of course, if pigeon pose isn't quite so good for you, stay there if it is. You can find a seated variation. You can cross the right leg over the left. Ensure that the right knee presses out to the side and that your left ankle is quite close towards that left leg. And this is a really great place to be too. For those of you who are in pigeon, we're going to come out of it, and often the easiest way to come out, take the block away if you have it underneath your bottom, and then you can sit onto your right bottom, which releases that leg. We're heading back towards downward facing dog. So maybe come back to a tabletop position, breathe in, and then breathe out. Back to down dog, just to lengthen a little through the legs. I often find pigeon can feel a little squished that front leg. So down dog enables us to bring a little bit of life back there. And then come back to tabletop position. And then left leg is going to scoot forward, and we're back to that hip flexor stretch. So a little bit of dynamic movement forwards and backwards if that feels okay. Continuing to breathe deeply Finding some stillness here. Now you'll notice that the knee and the ankle are in line, so it's a safe place to be. The back leg is straight, so just peek and make sure that there's a nice long line and that that foot isn't turning in. And then the hands and the arms can be wherever you wish. Wonderful. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. From here, bring the hands down. Now heading to a runner's lunge, extend the right leg, chest searches forward, and we find that nice long line in the body. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more breath here. Heading to pigeon pose, shuffle the right foot across, shuffle the left foot across towards the right side and allow the right leg to be long at the back. Keep the left foot close to the right hip to prepare and just check that the back leg is extending nice and long. Then, left knee out towards the side, you can start to creep the left foot further away from the right hip. When you find yourself with some stability here, either keeping lifted or coming down, or of course you'll be able to sit a little bit closer on this side, you can place a block underneath. Can you notice how it shifted my pelvis a little? So rather than be rolling onto this extended leg, as soon as I use the block, I'm just giving myself a little bit more support there. Good. Breathe in. You can come down. Breathing out. And of course, if pigeon isn't for you, we can take that variation again. Cross, left leg over right. Thigh, pressing left knee out to the side. This is a really nice place to be too. Breathe in. Breathe out. Those of you in pigeon pose, stay there for one more breath. We'll release out. So allow yourself to sit onto the left side, release the right leg, and then maybe come back to a tabletop position. Breathe in, back to down dog as we exhale to release those legs. From here, bring the knees down, cross the legs behind, sit yourself back, and then roll yourself all the way onto your back. Knees towards the chest, circle the knees. We're going to have a go at our reclined cow face pose to finish here. So cross the legs over, so right leg is on top of your left. Knees are going to stack essentially on top of one another, and you're going to catch your opposite foot with your opposite hand. From here, in this little twisted position, we start to extend the legs away and out towards the side. Again, knees are kind of on top of one another, and by extending the legs, you should start to feel a stretch hopefully come into the hip. It is a fairly gentle stretch. If your hands can't catch your feet, you can catch the shins, or you can even place a strap or some sort of support on both feet, and you would gently pull with your hands. This is definitely an advantage if you have longer arms to be able to catch it. Change it round then, left leg now on top. Take hold of the feet to prepare, and then when you're ready, extend. Breathing in, breathing out. And we'll finish in a happy baby pose. One more breath here. And release the legs, unravel. Catch either big toe or outer part of your feet. Press the feet away. Heels pressing up towards the ceiling. Feel free to have a little rock around here. Opening up through that lower back can feel really nice. Very gently bring the knees back together. Make the body really long. Take an inhale. As you exhale, feel free to close your eyes and spend a few moments here in Shavasana. Or if you are restricted by time, come to a seated position. We'll finish with one closing breath together. Bring the hands towards the heart. Inhale. Lift up. Catch the breath at the top. Exhale as you come back towards your heart. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'll see you again soon.